Welcome to the AI Box Podcast. I'm Chazzy, and with me today is the wonderful co-host, Dan Clark. How you doing, man?
Too kind, man.
It's warranted, sir. It's warranted.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, you're not too bad yourself.
Thank you. Oh, right, now let's forget the loving.
Yeah. Move on with actual stuff.
Yeah, what we've been doing, man. What you been doing?
Well, yeah, I think Microsoft have been watching my Twitter feed, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know if you spotted, over the past few months, I've been talking about Joe Danger and saying, oh, if anyone's got it, please add me on the friends list so I can compare scores. And they put it down last week to half price on Xbox Live. So
That's superb.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to help me out and get a few more people on board. So yeah, big thanks to Microsoft for putting the price down on that.
How much? What did it come down to? From
1,200 to 600.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, so I think it ends tomorrow, so it will be finished by the time this podcast's up. So if you missed it, you missed out.
Oops.
But yeah, so I've seen a few more people that have picked that up in the past week, and it's been one of my favourite games for the past few months, really. But I got right back into it last week, knowing that there's going to be new scores on there to try and beat.
Oh, right. You've been out there hunting other people's scores.
Yeah, well, trying to, but then it turns out that no one else is actually very good at it. I don't mean that in a mean way, but...
Oh, yeah. There's your little trumpet being blown there.
Yeah, exactly. The world's smallest trumpet. But yeah, I don't know if it's because I played it when it was a really early build at Eurogamer in 2009. Okay. Back when it was... I used an Xbox pad, so it was on the Xbox then, but then they made it a PS3 exclusive later on. But the guys that made it showed me the basics of the combo system. And while I was playing it, they were like, oh, didn't realise you could do that. Oh, you can do that, can you? So I obviously gelled with the control of the game like right from the start.
Right.
But then I think from having watched people that are big Tony Hawk's players playing their game, they've kind of tailored it more to that feel.
Okay, so what is Joe Danger then, for people who don't know what it is?
A lot of people call it the kiddie version of Trials HD.
Okay.
But I think that's a misnomer, really. It looks a bit like Trials HD. It is a motorbike race from one end of the track to the other without crashing game. So it's got that in common. But to me, it feels more like, say, it's a lot like Sonic, the old classic Sonic games on the Mega Drive.
Right, sort of push right to win.
Yeah, well, with the more in the terms of you got the bumpers that, like the old pinball bumpers, like you'll run into one of those and it'll suddenly flip you into the air.
It'll all
and
go
you
a
can
bit
do
mental.
like your Sonic spins. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they've combined that with, say, the balancing aspect of Super Monkey Ball, where you try and play with the physics system to see how much you can get out of the game that wasn't meant to be there.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's got that kind of feel. And then the real kicker is it's got Tony Hawk's combo system, almost identical to Tony Hawk's combo system. It's absolutely beautiful.
So it's like it's quite a basic game on the face of it then, but like if you really dig into it, it's actually quite deep then. It's got quite a deep combo system and there's
really deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mechanics really sort of have that one more go feel.
All right, sweet.
Like, did you ever, when you used to play Tony Hawk's or I'm trying to think of other games, Trials HD does it, where you can restart, especially with Trials HD.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah, like, oh, I messed up that jump. Yeah. So I'm going to start again, even though like you could have probably done quite well anyway. But it's just that compulsion of, no, I need a perfect run through this.
Right.
So yeah, I've discovered that I'm quite good at it, really. When I played the first tutorial level, it went over to the leaderboards, and I saw that I'd beaten everyone on my friends list. So I thought, I'll have a check on the global leaderboards, and I was in the top 50 worldwide. It was like, that's only the tutorial. I've just got my first 10-digit score, which is
good. Is that good in comparison?
Yeah.
What's a normal score?
Normal score
roughly?
Is most people on my friends list are getting, say, 15 million looks to be a good score from what people are getting.
Right. Okay.
But I'm getting an extra 3 digits on top of that on any given run, like an extra 3 zeros on the end, and then an extra 4 zeros as of the other day.
So you're sort of Rain Manning this game completely.
Yeah, I prefer to think it's more sort of Neo from the Matrix than Rain Man, but it's But hey, that's my spin on it. I'm going to try and make it.
Well, you look good in a black trench coat and black sunglasses.
Yeah, so does Dustin Hoffman.
So what can you say?
So what's your problem? But I was thinking it might be because it was obviously April Fool's Day yesterday. I was thinking, what if Hello Games suddenly send you a message on Xbox Live saying, "Ha, we gave you super easy mode. You thought you were good at it, but really,
we've just added a load of digits to your score."
Yeah, I was kind of half thinking that because.
That'd be like the ultimate April Fools, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
would it
be great?
Some like playing like Pac-Man CE, Pac-Man CE or whatever it is, and kind of all of a sudden your scores are going through the roof, and it's like, oh, this is amazing! I'm just suddenly amazing at this game. What's going on? And then the next day, all your scores are cut down by like a quarter because they've just added some extra bonus to it. That'd be
that'd be awful. That would be bad news.
Yeah. That'd be terrible.
Yeah,
funny though.
Like Fordy was like, how are you getting these kind of scores? Because I think his maximum was 230,000 on that first tutorial level. But
So how are you getting his scores?
Well, I'm getting 230 million by the time I've got to the second ramp. Like within the first 4 seconds of the game, I'm getting 100 times his score. So I literally don't know what I'm doing differently to anyone else. Other than, the only thing I can think is the Tony Hawk's combos. My hands are quite attuned to the muscle memory of Tony Hawk's, and it just gels with that. So that's all I can really think of.
Weird, man. Yeah. That's totally weird. I mean, I know I've had games where I sort of clicked with it and done well, but I've never had a game where I've clicked with it so well that I've kind of smashed into the top leaderboard, numbers. That's just you must have blown you away.
Yeah. It adds. Like I say, I really don't get it. But I'm getting, if I try a level for the first time, I'll generally get into the top 30. And if I give it another couple of goes, I'm hovering around between like 15 and 10.
Mental.
Yeah. I'm determined to get a number one score eventually. But there's just going to be someone out there that is so good at it that you'll never attain it. Like there's people that are getting 100 times more than the kind of scores I'm getting. So they must have some crazy skills.
Either proper skills or they're hacking it.
That's probably more likely, isn't it? Because you do see that on a few games where there's scores that aren't possible.
That's like Trials where you get a score and it's like was it Trials? There's one game where it's kind of like it's done based on times, and like some of the times are like quarter of a second for an entire track.
I know when Perfect Dark first came out on XBL, there's a level on that where there's a little glitch that you can finish the level in like 2 seconds.
Right.
So yeah, that's
mental. That's
the same kind of thing where you could be trying your very best to try and get to the top of the leaderboards. Then you have a look and it's like, oh, I missed it by like 4 minutes.
The top 40-year-old glitches. Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Have you had any games that have you've surprised yourself with?
I think the closest I've ever come to anything like that is the latest Forza 4. Because since I've been learning to tweak my cars properly and like tune in the setups and stuff, and I've managed to break into like the top, like on certain tracks, managed to break into the top 600 on a couple of tracks on Forza.
Yeah.
And that's really that's about the closest I think I've ever come to ever being on a leaderboard ever. And even then, like I was taking photographs of it and like showing it to my mates and like going, "Oh my god, look, I'm in the top 600." Like that's, but that's still a long way to go. I mean, like between me and like number one, I've got to like take like 8 or 9 seconds off or something stupid. It's like there's a massive drop off in that game.
Also, Forza's going to have a lot more people playing it than Joe Danger in it, to be fair.
Yeah, I suppose. But it kind of freaks you out when you get up to those kind of heights. It really does. But
also with Forza, doesn't it depend on which car you've got and how you've tuned it as to what sort of times you can get?
Well, yeah, because what normally happens is you get per class per track. So like there's an A class set of times and a B class set of times. And blah 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 blah. But then there's also, if you have assists turned on, that will count against. It won't count against your time, but it will show that they get graded. So that if you turn all the assists off, you'll go further up the leaderboard than you will if you have all the assists turned on.
So people know how good someone is Like, you can tell if someone's not cheated, but if they've used, like, brake assists and that kind of thing, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So I've got to learn to stop using automatic gears now, because that's the only thing I have turned on. I can drive pretty much a perfect race, but if I put gears on, it's too much.
See, that's the lovely thing about Forza, isn't it? That it's so to almost anyone, I think.
Oh yeah, it's really accessible. But yeah, no, I love that game. I absolutely love it. I was playing it about 10 minutes before we started the podcast. It was like, I still keep dipping back into it. I think since it's like Forza 2.
Yeah.
I think I've gone all the way through all the levels that you can go through on every game, and I'm now just like sort of slowly ploughing my way through Forza 4.
They're big old games as well, aren't they? So,
yeah, I love it, man. No, they're massive, absolutely massive.
Can I just put a shout out as well for Joe Danger? That if anyone does listen and they've got the game, send us a tweet or send me a tweet at Mealtime Strategy, and I'll DM you my gamer tag if you want to compare scores and try and give me some kind of.
That's a good idea, man. Yeah, see if you've got some like absolute Joe Danger, like mental case.
Yeah, because there must be someone out there who's like
number one in the world.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great if someone did listen. And... See, as much as I'd hate to have someone beat my scores, it makes the game so much more fun, doesn't it? To be able to chase.
Oh yeah, totally.
Chase
someone's score. Yeah, totally. I'm like that I was saying that a while back about SSX and chasing people's scores and stuff. I love all that. Like I said, sucker for a leaderboard. So yeah, man, that's been quality. But
what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing Rock Band Beatles. I went into a game the other day. Mm-hmm. Picked the bones over like a vulture. Yeah, exactly. And there was nothing in there, so I popped next door to HMV. Went in there, and they had Rock Band Beatles for £4. I couldn't believe it. I actually had to go and check with the guy behind the counter to make sure that I wasn't dreaming. And he was like, no, it's £4. So I thought, right, I'm having some of that.
No, that's a stunning price, isn't it?
Yeah, man, totally.
You couldn't even get 5 Beatles tracks on iTunes for that.
Yeah, probably not. So, so I ended up taking that home, and I've been playing that. And why didn't anyone tell me how good this game was, or is? It's amazing.
Well, people did rate it, but only for about a month, and then sales dropped off.
I must not have been
classic, isn't it?
I must not have been paying attention, because man, this game is like, from the intro alone has totally blown me away. I was sort of sat there and watched through it, and I was like, by the time it finished, I was like sort of there, open mouthed, like, oh my god!
It really makes you want to be part of the band and get straight into the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. And so I've just got into that, and it's just like this crazy like music history lesson of the Beatles. It's brilliant. And it's just I've just totally got into it, and I sat there like tapping me. Like, for some reason, whenever I play Rock Band, I can't sit down. I've always got to be stood up and rocking around left to right. So I must look so weird doing it. It's unreal, but I'm
sure the neighbours are used to seeing you rocking in an armchair, though, aren't they?
yeah, just sitting there slowly rocking backwards and forwards. But no, it's been brilliant. Honestly, absolutely brilliant. And kind of like having those like weird little interstitial bits where you're waiting for a song to load, and it's got the recordings of the guys in their like demo room having a chat before they do a song, or doing a little jam session before they they're about to start the song or whatever.
Like you can hear George Martin giving them sort of like directions on. Like,
yeah, totally.
Yes, John, please can you put a bit more emphasis on the guitar solos and
or like
that
John,
kind of thing,
John Lennon going, oh yeah, that's a take, that one.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's fucking brilliant. Actually.
A real love for it's a real passion project, isn't it? I think.
Oh yeah, totally. You can tell like it's a total passion project, and like not that I can see the visuals because I'm intently staring at the little gems that come down the screen, but every now and then when there's a quiet bit and you sort of look at the background and see all the stunning visuals on that, it's brilliant. I'm absolutely loving it, and it's given. Do you know what? It's given me an absolute respect for. It's like, everyone goes on about Paul McCartney and John Lennon, great songwriters, but George Harrison, what a fucking guitar player!
Oh yeah, completely. There's some bits that you never noticed in the songs.
Yeah, you don't notice
until you get to play them. And
yeah,
it's
you
like,
try and play
really
it, and it's like, fucking. How difficult is it? I mean, I'm only playing on medium because I'm not a very good rock band guitarist at all.
Yeah.
But like, even on that, I'm like, whoa! Like, this must be like so difficult to play,
Have you tried any of the drum tracks?
Not yet. No, I'm saving those.
Because again, everyone says, Ringo wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles, like the old John Lennon joke. But some of his rhythms and stuff are absolutely
it's mind blowing. Honestly, there's stuff in there that bits you don't hear when you just listen to or like the track from having heard it at bloody weddings or whatever. But then actually having it, because I've got a set of Turtle Beach X41, so like I've got it's surround sound on my head, and like hearing all these little bits that you've never heard before, and that you're playing, like really sort of has just opened it all, like their music up to me completely. I was never a big fan of the Beatles, not like I'd hate them or anything, but like I was never a big fan of them. But since playing through this, it's really converted me. I'm just like, wow, some of these songs are absolutely fantastic, So yeah, I've been absolutely loving that, and I've kind of been dipping in and out of that all week, really.
Have you finished it yet?
Not yet. No. Nearly finished it. Nearly all the way through it. I'm up to, where am I up to? Second lot of Abbey Road, I think. So yeah, it's quite funny, like seeing them sitting in the studio at the start of the song, and all of a sudden it kind of warps out into like almost like a music video for each tune. That's quality, man. Absolutely brilliant. Honestly, just.
So you haven't got the bit yet where Yoko completely destroys the game, no?
No, not yet. No, where she shuts the Xbox off.
Yeah.
No, I haven't got to that bit yet.
She actually wanted the game to be a platform game about a mouse with no mouth. Lucky Danny Harrison, George's son, turned around on that. But yeah, because he put a load of work into it, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so Danny Harrison was sort of not the brains behind it, but it was his idea to try and make a Beatles game and approached harmonics and
right, because I remember hearing a story about like kind of someone bumping into someone at a party, and
it's something to do with Danny Harrison at an LA party.
Yeah. Someone bumped into him at a party and kind of put the seed into his head, and then it all kind of rocked up from there or something. Yeah. No, it's been quality. Honestly, can't recommend it highly enough. If you haven't played it for £4, if you can find it for £4 like I did, get it, because
you can't go wrong, can you?
No, it's wicked. And then I kind of the only other thing I've been playing this week is Rage.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because I've got that. I rented it from Love Film, and I hadn't really put any time into it. So I've had a bit of a long weekend this weekend. So I thought, right, sod it. Friday night, smash through some Rage, and it's a really. I know a lot of people have been down on it, but I found it a really, really solid shooter. I'll tell you what it reminded me of, which it reminds me of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, the first one. In its shooting mechanics, it's very solid. The shooting mechanics are really well done. Get lots of feedback. The guns feel really solid and weighty and kind of, good. But it's a lot less. Whereas like Call of Duties that are like 200% all the time, it's kind of like go 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 go. This is a lot more slower, and you're in a wasteland, and you kind of wander slowly from one part to another part, and it's a lot less madcap, as it were.
I'm guessing you did the install on 360.
Oh yeah, I had to. Yeah. I'd heard that it's an absolute nightmare because it comes on 3 discs.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I got that through the post. Postman was having trouble getting it through the bloody letterbox.
I hope he gets a bonus for that.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, it was. Like I'm enjoying it, but it's very linear, and it's very kind of MMO like in its quests, in its jobs. Because it's you go to such and such and
go here and do this for me, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Go and pick this up and go and get that and put that there and go and shoot. Go and see. Oh, the satellite dish has gone a bit haywire. I wonder what could have happened to that. Oh, can you go and check it out for us? And then obviously, someone's there and you have to go and kill X amount of people on the way and then come back and get your next mission and then go out and come back and go out and come back, and it's just like it was good. I mean, it's very like I say, the actual moment to moment shooting. Other than the fact that the guys kind of ran at you in pretty much straight lines, with the odd kind of jink to the side every now and then.
Yeah,
it's all a bit samey and a bit boring.
People did quite big up the AI for that game as well, didn't they? I think
it's all right, but I don't know. I just find it a little bit dull.
It's very dry, isn't it? I think.
I mean, see, the problem I've got is it's very much like Borderlands, and where Borderlands was brilliant was that it had like the numbers coming out of the guys' heads when you were killing them, and that kind of gave you a real kind of buzz. And then you had the kind of random gun generation, so you didn't know what, you picked up a weapon, you didn't know if it was going to be better than your last weapon, and it had classes, so you could play it in slightly different ways, and that was amazing, right? But with Borderlands, what I always felt was a problem with it is that it always felt really fucking empty. And like you were trudging around for fucking hours just through an empty fucking flat desert to get to a tiny little cave on the other side to then go in and have a bit of an experience. Or you were driving across, you were getting in your little car that was a bit weird to drive and driving across a fucking big open area to get to the one door to go and kill something. And that felt really fucking empty to me. Whereas Rage is the opposite. Rage is really condensed and everything feels small and really densely packed with like people and stuff going on, and really kind of has a life.
I love that hub. Yeah, that's the perfect word for it. That hub, the little village or town.
That town.
It has got a real sort of buzz about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has a buzz about it, and that makes you really gets you engaged and gets you involved. But because it's got your standard kind of id, you pick up this gun, you pick up your shotgun, you pick up your assault rifle, you pick up your thing, your slightly better gun than the assault rifle. They're all standard tropes of guns.
Yeah, the same ones they've used in Doom, Quake, and whatever since.
It feels a bit boring. And the guns don't feel boring, they feel well done, but, you've got your shotgun, you've got your assault rifle, and it's just all a bit going through the same progression. Whereas with Borderlands, you've got fucking, I don't know what gun I'm going to get next. And I just wish you could smash the two games together and come out.
You could try that, but Love Film probably wouldn't be too impressed when you tried to send the discs back.
No, exactly. They wouldn't like that, I don't think.
Are you going to try and, are you going to finish it, or are you going to send it back?
Well, I've sent it back. What I'm going to do,
I guess we could call you a rage quitter.
Yeah, sort of. Very well done. But yeah,
I've been waiting for months for that.
But no, I'm not. I'm not a rage quitter. What I've done is I've decided. The problem I've got is Borderlands 2 is around the corner.
Yeah,
it's not a million miles away. So it's either going to be that I pick up Borderlands 2. Now, the thing with Borderlands is I want to play it with... I didn't play Borderlands 1 with anyone else. And okay. I want to be able to play Borderlands 2 with a group of guys this time. So I'm going to try and... if anyone's interested in playing Borderlands 2 with me when it comes out, give me a shout on Twitter at Chazzy_UK. And, I'll definitely get involved with that. But
I might do that, because I'm quite interested, because it's written by Anthony Birch, isn't it?
Yeah, from Destructoid.
Yeah, and from... Hey Ash, what you playing?
Yeah, exactly. So
he's going to have some interesting ideas, I'm sure.
I'm well up for doing that.
Smart chappy.
I'm well up for doing that, but I think I will go back to. There's something about those games that I like. I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it, but I think I will go out. I'll probably end up going out and picking it up for like £12 in a bargain bin or a pre-owned or something, and have it on a shelf to go sort of keep dipping back into every now and then. That's what I did with Borderlands. I sort of had it I'd play through a level and then not play it for 2 months and then go back to it and play it for another a couple of levels and then go back to it in another couple of months. And I was going backwards and forwards until I completed it. So I'm thinking that's probably what I might do with Rage. Like, it fills this little hole of kind of, like when you have like a FIFA or a driving game that you always go back to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I think I might end up doing that with it.
Kind of your regular palate cleanser game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, I've just finished Enslaved, and I've just finished, whatever. I'll tell you what, let's go back and have a little bit of Rage, and then, as it were, a little bit of Rage. And then
did you try the multiplayer?
No, I didn't.
Because id really dropped the ball with that, didn't they?
Really?
Well, yeah. The multiplayer isn't shooting; it's the driving bit of it.
Oh, fucking hell! I mean, I like driving. Well, the thing is, I like driving games, but even I find the fucking driving boring in this. It's like,
and you wouldn't want to play multiplayer, would you? It's just from getting from point A to point B.
No, it's really solid. It's like so much better than most driving sections in most games, but just
it feels quite a lot like Motorstorm, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just a bit been there, done that,
Yeah.
It's such a shame. But yeah, no. So like I said, really enjoyed it. I think I'll probably end up dipping back in and out of it. I'm just going to have to go and find a copy of it somewhere cheap, But,
I think it's knocking around, if you've got a Morrison's near you, it's been knocking around for between 10 and 12 quid for the past 3 months.
All right, I might take a trip down there and get it with my groceries.
Obviously, other shops are available.
Other shops are available. So yeah, so that's about it, man. That's all I've been doing.
Ah, good stuff.
Yes.
Well, if that's us both covered, then you'd better get off to Morrison's, aren't you?
Yes, mate.
Should we go for a break?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Break.
Bye.
Hello. And thanks for calling Game Customer Services. We've only gone and found ourselves a bloody buyer. Press 1 to join me in a celebratory dance of ultimate smugness. Press 2 to shout get in there, you mother lovers. Press 3 to light my mahusive Cuban cigar. Press 4 to gain access to our VIP party. It's all kicking off in here. Jay-Z and Chris Akabusi just arrived with Jed from Gladiators. Hang on, that's not Jay-Z, it's Dave Benson Phillips. Even bloody better. Mike from Human Resources is just pouring me my 3rd pint of Snakebite and Black. I have a wicked Ribena mustache already. We are gonna party like it's 1999. Or 1799 pre-owned.
So, as you just heard, game have pretty much been saved.
Yay!
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah. So, did you see the news about the bid over the weekend? And they said there's going to be more news tomorrow. And
yeah, no, I wasn't really following it over the weekend because I was a bit busy. But so, what was the final outcome?
Well, the first rumor was that RBS were going to buy it on Friday.
Right.
But it turns out they were lending it to Op Capita, who are the owners of Comet.
Oh, right, okay. Because didn't they block them from buying it in the first place?
Yeah. No, there's an interesting thing in it. Yeah.
So they blocked them from buying it and then lent them the money to then buy it.
Yeah, after it had gone into administration and all the jobs had been lost.
Well, that seems a bit weird.
Yeah, it does, considering they're a publicly owned bank.
Yeah,
but
man.
I guess it's economics.
But end of the day, it's all good news, man. All good news.
Exactly. At least some jobs have been saved, and it looks like the company's got a future.
Yeah, man, that's wicked. That's absolutely wicked. I'm well pleased about that.
Are they going to rebrand it as like Comet Express? Or
no? It will stay Game. It will stay Game Station. It will stay Game. But they'll. The guy who's running Game Station has been made CEO, I believe. So
wow.
Hopefully, they'll become a bit more Game Stationy, which would be
fingers crossed.
Which would be a good thing.
See, in my local town, Ipswich, they kept both Game and Game Station.
Yeah.
Neither store has gone.
Right. Superb. No, I think there was 5 and they ended up with 2. So it was massive cuts around my way. So
yeah,
man. Yeah, man.
Have you got one of each, a game and a Game Station?
I've got a game. No, I've got 2 games. There's a game in the Glades and then a game in Orpington as well. So yeah, so it's interesting. But yeah, like I say, good news all round. It's nice to have a happy ending to a story like that. So
definitely,
or happy-ish ending anyway.
Been dragging things down a few weeks in the UK, hasn't it? So
yeah, totally, man, totally.
Well done.
Yeah, exactly. So what else has been going on?
To come off the back of that, there's been massive job losses at Sega.
Happy, sad.
Exactly, out of the frying pan into the fire. But they've posted massive losses for the past year, and they've announced they're going to be cancelling a lot of games, and that there will be a number of redundancies from the western side of the business.
So other than the jobs, which is obviously sad.
Yeah.
What games were in the pipeline? Do we know?
We're not too sure, but Bayonetta
are.
2 is in jeopardy, possibly.
Right. Okay. That's worrying.
So that's probably the big one for real gamers. But other than that, there's what else have they got coming? They've got a couple of Aliens games, haven't they? Is there one on the DS? It's a big one.
No, not Colonial Marines.
Yeah, or is that out already?
Don't know. I don't know. That's the only Aliens game I know of that pops into my head.
They've got Phantasy Star Online 2.
Okay. See, I know nothing about Phantasy Star, right? Because I'm assuming that's a Dreamcast game, right?
Phantasy Star, the original, was on the Master System.
Yeah.
And then sequels on the Mega Drive. But yeah, Phantasy Star Online started on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the online.
Yeah. That was the first real big online. It wasn't an MMO because it wasn't massively multiplayer because not that many people had Dreamcasts. But online RPG.
So sort of, was it more Monster Hunter-y type, smaller groups, yeah?
Yeah, you go in as, I think it's groups of 4 into discrete levels.
All right,
like you will hang out in a hub beforehand and chat and work out what missions you're going to do.
And then popped off into like an instance and kick some ass. All right.
Yeah, so it's very much like your modern MMOs, really. It's quite ahead of its time.
So how's that transferring over to like a new Phantasy Star then?
They've had side stories. They've had like Phantasy Star Portable, Phantasy Star Zero, and a few side games. But this is the first time it's got a true sequel, Phantasy Star Online 2.
Oh, sweet.
So that's fingers crossed. It's got loads of potential. So fingers crossed that's going to be one of the games that does make it out of the gates.
That sounds good.
And they've also announced in the same week that they're going to be making it a free-to-play game.
Oh, sweet. That's all right.
Hey, we've made massive losses, but the game that we could make millions out of, have that for free. That's
have
all
that
right.
for free. That's all right. I'll give that a try if it's free then.
Yeah. And it's even going to be free on the Vita as well, which, as I've now got one of those, that's quite exciting.
Right, so it's not quite as free. It comes with a hefty £200 price tag before I can buy it.
Oh, I guess so. You can get it on the PC if you want.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I might be tempted.
It might be worth a go. Did you like Monster Hunter?
I've never played it. I've heard a lot about it. It sounds interesting.
Because that's the real system seller in Japan, isn't it? So
yeah. I've always heard that it's kind of the biggest thing in the world in Japan and blah 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 blah. And there's a small hardcore over here who play it, and I don't know. It's one of those things. I haven't had enough exposure to it to kind of make a decision. To know if it's any good. Yeah, exactly. And that's probably its biggest problem. No one really kind of hypes it up in such a big way or makes a big advertising push for it to kind of
they
get
did
it
with
out
Monster
there
Hunter Freedom on the Wii or Monster Hunter Try.
Monster Hunter Try, yeah.
They gave that quite a big push, but
I don't know. It never sort of sunk in. So maybe it's one of those games where I've got to kind of look into it and give it a bit of a study, maybe.
Yeah. So I think Sega, if they can get that on board on the Vita, I think
especially with the 3G and all that kind of stuff. If people are playing it on the move.
If that can take off in Japan, then it at least gives the system a real boost that maybe it can do better in the future. So
wicked.
Yeah, right, so that's your Sega news.
That's my news.
I'm guessing you weren't looking forward to any Sega games, were you?
Not really, mate. Not really.
You don't really look forward to much from Sega up here.
It's one of those ones. It's a bit of a weird one. Sort of Sega to me screams B game. Kind of. I don't. Other than Bayonetta, and probably what.
Bayonetta, that's a B game. You're right. The Bonanza Brothers, that's a B game.
No, as in Bayonetta and kind of Football Manager. Other than that, I haven't seen them kick out an A game or a AAA game in God knows how long. And I know I'll get people giving me grief, but you can tell me Vanquish is the most amazing game in the world, but to me, it's just another third-person shooter.
Man, you're going to break the internet.
Yeah. Well, bring it on.
You're going to cause like a crazy Twitter storm or something.
Look, I'm sure there are a lot of hardcore gamers who are into a lot of Sega games. I'm not going to say, that's fine.
You've got Yakuza, man. You've got Total War. They still make big games. Is
Total War a big game? Really? Come on.
It seems to sell well.
I mean, Yakuza, again, like, is it big? No. It's... for me... what's the best way to put it? Like, what's the best phrase for someone who's not casual and is not hardcore? It's sort of in the middle, like casual core.
Yeah, casually hardcore.
Yeah, casually hardcore, right? For that vast group of people.
Yeah.
Games like Total War and Yakuza, you're not going to spend your 40, 50 quid on it. It's just too much of a...
Which is why they've got the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games and the Sonic games.
Fine,
they've got that for that crowd, you know?
Yeah, but, you know, I just don't think they haven't put out a big... Other than Bayonetta and Football Manager, they haven't put out a big game in a long time. You know, it's just the way it is. They haven't...
I don't think anyone will deny they're nowhere near the company that they were back in the 80s and 90s. No,
totally.
Those times are gone. But I still think they're making some half-decent games.
They're putting out interesting games. I'm not saying... like you say, I'll go back. Vanquish is an interesting game. And it has a lot of interesting mechanics and stuff to it. You know,
but interesting doesn't pay the bills at Tesco's, does it?
Exactly. Maybe... You know, and that's the problem we're in at the moment in an industry where interesting is great to a point, but if interesting doesn't bring the money in, then you're screwed. And EA have found that with, you know, Mirror's Edge and, you know, when they did their project where they brought in new IPs, you know, Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, they were really brave for a good couple of years.
Yeah, and it didn't, you know, money-wise, it didn't bring the money in, you know, but it gave them a lot of kudos, but it didn't bring the money in any way, shape or form. So, you know, they've got to find... I think Sega have got to find that balance of, you know, not leaning on their old stalwarts of Sonic and, you know, that kind of thing, and their mascot so much, but also finding new things that they can leverage.
The thing is, they've got loads of old IP that they could go back to anyway that they haven't.
But
it's like Streets of Rage and stuff like that. I think they could do like an XBLA game of Streets of Rage.
But man, it's a risk. It's a total risk, and no one's taking risks nowadays. You know, have a look around. There's no one taking big risks, other than, like we've said it before, other than indies who are out there putting in their hard-earned cash to live the dream. You know.
Yeah.
You know, we are in a situation where people are looking for the guaranteed bucks, and Sega just haven't got the stuff behind them to a point that are going to bring in those guaranteed bucks, and that's why they're getting massive losses.
Also, they don't help themselves, man. They've had Shenmue 1 and 2 HD ready for a year, and they haven't released it.
All right, but again, big name, big game, but are there really the big numbers to clamouring for that game? There's a big hardcore following for it. But
it's been made. If you've already made it, surely you're going to put it out there at least to see.
Yeah, it's a good point. It is a good point, but I just wonder that is the point that they haven't put it out yet is because there isn't the big numbers of people clamouring for it. You know,
possibly, yeah. Shenmue's a massive name. It's like one of the. I suppose I see what you're saying. It's massive with the hardcore. Yeah,
it's massive with the hardcore, but with your casuals and that hardcore market is not as big as you think it is. Doesn't sustain games anymore. You know, it used to.
So does that mean we've got like Hello Kitty Roller Rescue to look forward to for the rest of
the
next generation?
Not in my view. I think that we're going to go through a lean time of that kind of stuff. But I think eventually we'll come out the other side of it with some really interesting stuff. But I think when people can chuck the money at it, but I don't think that's going to be for a good 2 or 3 years.
Unless Notch keeps throwing money at random companies.
Exactly, but look at that. That's an independent who's thrown a load of money at a passion project.
Yep. And
it's worked out for him. Yeah. No studio is going to take fucking Legos, like a Legos adventure game, and fucking make that kind of money and throw that kind of money at it. They're just not going to do it because they can't. You know, unless they can prove in a focus group that X amount of money is going to come out of it, they're just not going to...
You better tell Traveller's Tales to stop making the Lego Star Wars and Harry Potter games then.
Yeah, but again, they're all... But that is a well-known brand with a well-known level of quality that people are that publishers leveraging. You know, it's you know.
In fact, you're getting 2 licenses for 1 with that as well, aren't you?
Yeah, totally. So it just it's a weird one. It's a really weird one at the moment. We're in a really, really weird situation at the moment, and I just think that until the next series of consoles comes round, you're not going to see the kind of real big, amazing games coming round now.
Well, this generation has kind of dragged out a bit, hasn't it?
Oh, totally.
I know they all said about the 10-year plan, but they've said that with every console before. This is the first time it's going to actually happen, really, isn't it?
But it's been dragged out to the point where it's becoming stale and it's becoming crusty, and a new bit of life needs to be pumped into it, because if you don't, you're going to lose the audience. You know?
See, that's what we need. The Dreamcast 2. That's what Sega will get money from.
But I mean, it's one of those things. You're either going to lose the audience, or you're going to create demand by not putting anything into the market.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to be so ravenous for a new console that when it does hit, it's going to blow up in a ridiculous way because people are so desperate for something new and exciting. You know, so maybe there's a bit of that going on. I don't know.
From where we stand with how people feel about each of the manufacturers at this point in the generation, who do you think's going into it with the lead at the moment?
Going into it with a lead?
Who's going into the next generation a little nose ahead in terms of customer perception and the faith that the market has?
It's a very difficult one. I think Microsoft, probably by a nose, are in the lead, because they've, no matter how much they've fucked up with their consoles being, you know, breaking down all the time, and they've always managed to then
turn it round,
or you know, this, that, and the other. I think PlayStation have done well and will do well, and will be more of a force. I think the PSN hack
from last year still affects.
Yeah, but if you look at them if you look at PlayStation as an overall package, they've brought a lot more independent and a lot more interesting games through on the PSN. They've given you a free online experience.
Yep.
You know, they've given you PSN, the PlayStation Plus, and that's has now started to really kind of become a bit of a boom and started to really flourish. Some of the games they're giving you now, they're really coming into their own with that kind of thing. So I think they've made a really good push of late.
Yeah.
And it's going to give them a really, really good boost into, and with the Vita as well, will give them a good boost into the next generation. But I think that they're going to be slightly behind on time just through research and development. Because I don't think they've put as much research and development into the next console as much as Microsoft has, or even the Wii U.
Yeah.
Because the Wii U...
You can't forget Nintendo, can you?
No.
They've had a massive generation, albeit earlier on in the gen.
They're taking a massive gamble in going with an older technology at a cheaper price. It worked for them with the Wii.
Yep, it's worked for them every time.
But they're in a really, really weird situation where the Wii's done so well for them, but they're in a really weird seesaw position of people have got a Wii and are wondering why they need another one.
Yeah, and what does a tablet really bring to the...
Yeah, so it's one of those ones where they're going to really have to, you know, make a really good push to show us in an E3, or really show us what they've got and why this is worth holding back on the mega, you know, graphics cards and, you know, all those bells and whistles. But can they get us with the Wii again? Is kind of what you're saying. Yeah, but I don't think they'll ever be attempting to hit that again, because that was just a freak of nature.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's one of those situations where they're going to do good numbers because of their price point, and I think that it's one of those situations where if they market it right and they get the casual and the mid, whatever we called it, the casual mid crowd, they'll do really well again, and because they always have done. So I think that one of the three is going to be there's going to be a dark horse that comes out, that comes out of nowhere. Now, whether that's the Wii with its cheap price point and an unusual gimmick, or whether that's the PlayStation with its really good lineup of online games.
Is the unusual gimmick for the Wii U the last gen graphics?
Oh, look, it's retro nostalgia.
The thing is that they're banking on the fact that the graphical leap between the next generation of consoles and the last generation consoles is not going to be that much. It's going to be in the physics. Physics is going to be the next big thing, Yeah. It's going to be, does this move in such and such a way? Does that move in such? Is this a canned animation, or is this worked out procedurally while you're running around, and that kind of thing?
Because you can only throw so many polygons at something until it vaguely resembles a person, can't you?
Also, it costs more money to throw those more to employ someone to throw those polygons around. So there's
better shaders and better lighting and that kind of thing, isn't it? That are going to be the real tipping point.
Totally. So yeah, it comes down to there's only so much money you can throw at it before it becomes prohibitively expensive. So
the law of diminishing returns, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. So I don't know. It's a weird one. The problem is you're speculating on something that you've not seen the spec. We've only seen the specs for the Wii U, and only then it's a real basic kind of overview. We've not seen anything to do with it. We've only heard rumours on the Xbox. We've only heard this Oris or PlayStation 4. Orbis, that's it. We've only heard names. We've not heard, we don't know anything. But looking at their previous track record, you can see where they're going to try and go. But it's going to be really, 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 really interesting, man. Really. Do
you think they'll both come with their respective motion controllers? Like the next Sony machine will come with the equivalent of Move, and there'll be integrated Kinect on the next Xbox.
I think that Microsoft will move with a new version of Kinect.
Yep.
I think that PlayStation will move away from the Move. But they will find some other way of integrating that technology.
Well, by then, the Vita's going to be at a lower price point by then, isn't
it? Yeah.
So they could almost pull off a Wii U type experience with the Vita and the...
Totally.
The next console,
the thing is they're in probably the best position of the three, because they are flexible enough to kind of move, move with whatever trend comes up,
Yeah.
But
then if you're always chasing the trend, sometimes you miss the next big thing.
But there's always money in chasing a trend.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
You'll always make a certain percentage on chasing a trend, and if you don't invest too much in it, then you can make a decent return on it, I would believe. But that's just
also I think that holds true for the whole PlayStation series. It's always been a name that you can kind of associate with sort of dependability and quality. So
yes, like I said, but without seeing specs for anything, and we're not now going to see specs for anything for another 6 to 8 months now, at least. Because
should have gone to Specsavers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's right, man. But but yeah, I mean, like, we're not going to see anything at E3 apparently. So
they're going to apparently be relaunching the Wii U, aren't they? Not relaunching, re-announcing.
Yeah, because I think what they did with the original Wii U is they kind of gave you a broad overview, but you will actually get more
concrete details.
Yeah, concrete details, a bit more spec stuff. So that'll be, that'll be good for them, because they're going to get out before anyone else. So always being first to the market is never a bad thing.
When is that coming out, by the way?
No idea, mate.
Is it going to be in time for this Christmas?
I wouldn't have thought so if they're only announcing specs this year.
Yeah, I guess so. It just seems like it's going to be awfully late because they're looking at Christmas 2013 for the next Xbox.
But
that's the kind of projected date.
When did they release the DS? That wasn't Christmas. That was like February, wasn't it? February,
the 3DS, yeah.
3DS, yeah. So I don't think they're beholden to a Christmas time
Christmas
schedule.
Launch, yeah.
Yeah. So You know. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be really interesting, like coming into the future. And how the hell did we get onto this conversation from Sega?
Who knows? That's how good Sega are. See, they've led us round the houses. And...
They spark conversation, man.
Yeah, exactly. Was there any more news this week? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, it's kind of already related. We've gone past it. But they're saying that the next Xbox might need an always-on internet connection.
Really?
Yeah, so it's going to constantly sort of check. It's going to have DRM to constantly check that you're online.
Well, that means you're going to be fucked if you've got no internet connection or live somewhere in the middle of the country, you know.
Yeah. Well, and
that's
kind of gives up on the... I'm guessing it's going to have integrated internet anyway, but for kids with just a console in their bedrooms who might not have access to the router and that kind of thing, you might be missing that.
I don't see... I don't know. I just can't see that there's enough broadband penetration that everyone is going to... I mean, I know people who don't hook their consoles up to the internet ever.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I'd say out of, say, 10 or 15 people I know, at least half, to over half maybe, don't even connect theirs to the internet. So, if they were to do that, they're losing a massive part of it. I mean, if that's representative of a larger audience, but they're going to be losing a massive, massive part of their audience by doing that. And I just can't see why, for the amount of money that you would be losing more money from people not buying the console than you would be from people having a console and having problems with DRM and selling games. It seems counterintuitive to me.
And there'll always be loads of people that don't read up on it, that don't know about these things, that will just go and buy it. And then I suppose you'd have a PR nightmare, wouldn't you? That
yeah, totally.
My little Johnny, he can't play on his Xbox anymore. Oh no, we went and bought him the new one. That doesn't work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. That just seems a bit iffy to me, man. Seems iffy. I don't believe that for a second. I know they were saying, oh yeah, it's not going to play, second-hand games and.
Oh yeah, for the Orbis, yeah.
Yeah, or the Orbis, that's not going to play second-hand games. I just can't see how people are going to stop that if it's going to do those kind of things. It just doesn't make sense to me. But then again, we're living in it's a weird time. It's a weird time. Everyone's trying to protect their little patch and make the most of their profit. So anything's possible.
If it's going to secure against, like, piracy has blighted a few consoles in the past, hasn't it? I know the PSP and DS both suffered from that hugely.
We're in a weird time. We're in a really weird time. It's going to be very. When people look back on it, on these kind of in the next 3-4 years, there's going to be a lot of kind of interesting stories, I think, come out. Once Definitely. It all blows over. Definitely, man.
I think people listening back, Hello in the Future, people listening back
Hello.
It'll be like them listening to say Churchill's War Room tapes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and also, how are you flying cars?
Yeah, and it's food in a little pill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you get it out of a replicator?
Isn't it mad to think that people might actually listen to this in the future?
I know, it's a little bit. I
on
don't really
Thursday.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't really want to think about that because that just freak me out too much. And I'll just go and hide somewhere.
We'll get you another curly whirly.
It's the men from the future that are listening to me.
They took our jobs.
Right, so
I think that's the news covered for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, man, that's definitely the news. The news.
What are we going to do for a topic? Got any ideas?
Not a clue, mate. Let's have a look.
We could always.
Let's look through the random topic generator.
Can we think of a random excuse to talk about retro stuff again?
Probably not, mate. I mean, we're banging that one to fucking death, aren't we?
Oh, there must be something.
Oh,
how about games that you have rose-tinted glasses for?
Right.
Like the ones that are your most fondly remembered through, for personal reasons rather than anything else.
Yeah, not like, this game.
We've done anything similar to that before. No.
not like, this is the most amazing game ever because the cutscenes and blah blah blah. But more like experiences outside of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you remember about where you were at that time, that kind of thing.
Right. I've got one.
Yeah.
Right. The Star Wars arcade machine. Star Wars arcade cabinet, man. Yeah. First ever arcade game I ever played.
Wow.
Right. Sitting in that plywood box with a with the little the steering wheel that was kind of the weird futuristic steering wheel that was kind of square with the triggers on and the red button on the front of it. That you'd basically play the vector game of the trench run in Star Wars.
Yeah,
having to shoot the the exhaust port. Fucking love that, man, and it just takes me back to being like 8, 9 years old, being taken by my dad down the seafront in the summer, and being chucked, and then just like going, oh, the arcades, oh, walking in and everything's way taller than I am, and just the hazy days of summer. That's what that reminds me of, man.
And having to go and ask the pervert for 10p's.
Well, no, we had change machines. We were all right.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. But it was, but if you enjoyed going to the pervert, mate, that's absolutely it.
It's only the thing about like people. They always used to warn you about arcades, didn't they? Like in Grange Hill, they'd always be like, "Don't go down the arcades on your own, son."
Oh, the dregs of society are in there. But I still maintain that trench run that arcade cabinet was one of the most immersive Star Wars games I've ever played.
Oh, it's still up there, definitely. Yeah,
that's fucking brilliant. I don't know. I just love it. I absolutely love that.
It wasn't the first game I played, but I think it's the first game I played that had speech.
Really?
Where it's like, use the force, Luke. See, my bad impressions work this week because it's meant to be of a bad sound chip, so that's all right.
So you get away with it.
Yeah. But yeah, at the time I thought that sounds just like him from the film. But if you play it in MAME today, it's not quite there, but it's still amazing, man.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds really good. So what about you? What have you got? What sort of brings back those rose-tinted glasses then?
Oh, the big one's probably Sensible Soccer.
Really?
On the Amiga? Yeah.
Superb.
Did you... Oh, I'm guessing you played it.
I used to love it, yeah, because I used to have me and my cousin, and we used to play Kick-Off 2.
Yeah.
And that was like the precursor to kind of Sensible Soccer. And that was one of the first games where you could bend the ball.
Yeah, that had aftertouch, yeah.
Had aftertouch, right? And then they took that and then refined it. Well, that wasn't the same team, but that idea was then taken by Sensible Soccer and then turned into like one of probably the best football games ever made.
It's quite amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
You can remember all of the little angles that you could ping in a goal from. Right?
Totally.
We used to call them Sensi goals if we played them in a different game, and certain angles would ping in.
I
it.
seem
Like,
to remember.
You got a Sensi goal.
Wasn't it the first game that you could save replays in as well?
Yeah, where I think you press spacebar after the goal's gone in when it's showing the replay, and you can save them and show your mates.
Yeah, that's what I don't know where that came from, but I seem to remember that. That was wicked.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, man.
See, why I remember that was my mate had a PC at the time, and I had a Mega Drive, and the game wasn't out on that.
Right.
But in the local computer shop, they had an Amiga.
Yeah.
So we used to go in there after school, like pretend to be looking at the shelves, and then just subtly pick up the joysticks, play Sensible Soccer. Until it ended up, we were going there like every day for months after school for about an hour just to play Sensible Soccer.
And you got caught.
Well, it was a tiny little shop, so I'm sure they didn't really mind either that. But they were like, "What do we do about these people?"
It makes us look busy. Don't worry.
Yeah. We were showing off the latest software, so
software, yes. Hello.
We're almost impromptu sales representatives.
I was thinking another game. Oh, hello. My voice broke then. Hello. Yeah, I remember another game was that I look back on fondly. It was track and field, right? Because there was a time in the summer where I had me and my mate Dave Thomas, and we used to go down to Southend, go and buy clothes or whatever, do what you do when you're a teenager. Go down, buy clothes, try and pick up girls in the high street, We were teenagers, we weren't, old men going around picking up girls in the high street. And, so we'd go down, but once you'd done the length of the Southend High Street, you'd get to Southend Seafront.
Yep.
So our tradition was to then go down to the seafront, go into the arcades, and then go and play track and field and try and get our name on the high scoreboard. Which we eventually, by the end of the summer, Dave and I had every single high score on the track and field cabinet in Mr. B's.
Must have been like winning the Olympics, man.
Oh, it was brilliant. You just go down there but it got to the point where we'd go down there and just check if we were still on there. And if we were still on there, that was it. Brilliant, nice one. And then we'd just leave again. It was quality.
Good.
Yeah, man, it's good old days, man.
And you must have like put your hands to shreds playing that game, man.
Yeah, sort of.
Smacking
We
them buttons.
kind of got a technique down in the end, and sort of almost kind of wore the cabinet down to a point. It was, it was good. It wasn't the trackball one. It was definitely the one with the buttons that gave you arthritis after a while. But we got right into it, and
you wore it down so it was just a little nub on the floor, not an arcade machine anymore.
It was quite funny because I then picked it up on XBLA like years later.
Yeah,
and then in my first go, clocked nearly every achievement in the game on my first attempt, turned it off, and never went back to it.
And where's Dave Thomas now, eh?
God knows, mate. I think he's
exactly. Yeah, but he's not got all the achievements on XBLA.
I'd be surprised, mate, because he was a lot better at it than me. He was a lot better at it than me. But he was, it was wicked, man. It was wicked. Like I used to love that.
Good time.
Yeah, man, totally. But God.
There was this one game, right? I don't know what it was called.
Oh, that's going to help.
Yeah, I know. But no one knows what it's called. I've searched on the internet. It's not like I haven't tried Googling it.
So are you putting out the call? Well, if anyone can work this game out from your random description.
Oh, that would be amazing. I honestly think I might have dreamt it.
Right.
But
so
I know I didn't.
Get on the at the AI Bots Twitter feed. If you know what this is, send us a message there and try and tell us what this game is, right? So
yeah.
Go.
So anyway, right. All I could, the only one I know of in the UK was in an arcade in Torquay.
Right.
So if anyone was there in the late 80s, you might be able to help.
Right.
We're sort of whittling this down on the people that can get there.
Right.
And I think it must have been a Laserdisc game because the graphics were amazing. Right. So I think it must have been like pre-rendered because you didn't get 3D kind of graphics like that at the time. But had a real manga anime mech.
Right.
Shooty,
so
crazy feel.
What type of game was it, first of all?
I think you were in a spaceship, but from a first-person viewpoint, and you were just shooting shit in the sky, like any other Laserdisc game. Yeah, but through sort of anime cities.
Right, okay.
Well, I think it was anime cities.
So
like, just supposed for anime going on.
Right, so Wing Commandery going for a city in an anime style, yeah?
Yep.
Right.
And there was only Japanese text on the screen, which obviously doesn't help with the name. At the time, I wouldn't have even known what it was.
Could you describe the title screen?
I don't remember it well enough to describe the title screen, man. Other than there was some Japanese
I'm just trying to glean as many details from your brain as possible.
It was ridiculously colourful, like modern anime, with sort of explosions kicking off left, right, and centre, going everywhere. Right. Like I say, I'm pretty sure it was from first person. There might have been a ship on the screen. I don't know. But there's a few games people have said, oh, it's this. One of them, Cobra Command, which was a Laserdisc game. Right. It's like, no, that's a helicopter. This definitely wasn't a helicopter. Right. There's a few other games that people have said, yeah, it's definitely that. But I've gone and looked on the net and it's not.
Right, okay.
And I've got no idea what it was. Other than it was incredible and I wish I knew what it was.
Oh, mate, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. Well, like I say, if anyone knows what that is, please get in touch or has an idea or has a clue or, just get in touch. At the AI Bots on the Twitter feed. And, if you can find out.
Surprise, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Scylla is going to reintroduce me with the machine.
Surprise, love. We found it for you behind that door. It's the game you've been looking for. Love. It's the game you've been looking for all these years.
And I'll cry and she'll give me the 50p to put in the machine.
You'll just be there blubbing. I love this guy. Oh, fucking me. Right, let's go to a break.
Let's.
Superb.
Yeah, so, if anyone knows what that game is, then do let me know. And if you've got anything else you want to tell us, or any questions you want to ask us, fire us up on Twitter at the AI Bots.
Totally.
If you've got a bigger question or is something you want us to talk about on the show, you can email at theaibots.com. Anything you want to ask people? Any games that you don't know the name of?
No.
You know the names of all the games, bro.
I know the names of everything I've played because I kept a thorough spreadsheet from when I was born.
Like a boss.
honest. But no, I'm nothing like that because to be honest, I didn't play anything that obscure. Yeah,
right. You just played your F1 game, and that was it.
Yeah, that was about it. So, right, shall we get out of here and let these lovely people alone?
Yeah, I think so. Get on with your day, guys.
Yeah. Right, see you later, guys.
See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.